welcome back to Back Corner Comics. And today we're going to be talking about THB Volume 1 by Paul Pope. This is the first time that THB is going to be collected in a complete way. As of now, there is Volume 2 and 3 solicited. I do not know if there is going to be more past Volume 3, but after reading Volume 1, I certainly hope so. And this is a fantastic comic with great black and white art. Various mediums are used to accomplish that black and white. There is a great introduction in here by Paul Pope that talks about his inspirations, how Miyazaki and Kirby are mentioned. Kind of also says how he wanted to just explore with THB and explore the medium of comics. You know, he talks about how the core of this story is, you know, little things going into big things and then big things going into smaller things. And that is a very abstract idea. But I think if you pick this book up and you read, you know, the whole thing, you'll see kind of how he achieves that exploration of idea. This is our main character. Her name is HR. And she is the daughter of, that's just beautiful. She is the daughter of this man of industry who is a robot creator. So here is this number 1. I believe that would have been the cover of the first issue. So Paul Pope did this while he was in college. There's this great introduction here of that kind of the first exploration of a little thing going into big thing. He talks about this THB little ball thing that when exposed to water kind of blows up into this big rubber armor type of guy, and that is going to be like HR's bodyguard. It sets up a lot of interesting characters here. This is, I think his name is Percy. His name is Percy. I was going to say Ozzy, but it is Percy. And he is kind of like her adopted, kind of like a brother, a live-in brother. He's the adopted son of her father's best friend. Their relationship isn't necessarily explored too much here, but the whole concept of this story is basically HR gets hunted by a group of people called the bug-faced individuals, and they're kind of like this militarized, bureaucratic government type of thing. There's a lot of world building going in here. There's different cities like V City and P City that each have their own rules, and I wonder what the inspiration behind that was. It feels like maybe like Soviet Union type of story, like fractured Europe. There's like massive wars, or was massive. But yeah, there was like these massive wars or something that fractured this city or this country. It's not very clear. As you can tell, the designs here are just fantastic. Very different, very cool. And something that should be noted is, you know, this looks very different than the first few pages of the comic. And again, Paul Pope talks about in his introduction how he just wanted to experiment with different mediums to get different results and stuff. This story is like pencil, for example, and it looks very good. And I love that kind of experimental part of this comic and of this title. I hope it kind of continues throughout. This is THB. Some of her classmates convince her to put water on the little molecule. But the second half of this story is just this one long kind of chase sequence that I thought was so engaging and so fantastic. You know, in the introduction, Paul Pope talks about Kirby, and that's where the storytelling really feels like a Kirby comic. It doesn't let up, and it's full blast, full action the whole way. There's this evil robot piano that attacks her. Very cool. So different, so interesting. Like I never would have, you know, how do you conceive of something like this? You know, the way the piano stalks, stalks for her. There's so much movement and so much feeling of animation within the panels. I think Paul Pope really achieves that. And this is like my first real Paul Pope comic outside of DC's Solo, where he did an OMAC storyline that was very interesting. God, look at this panel right here. Bam, like all that action. You feel him moving. You feel the movement of the character. Like the panels really accelerate here and they feel like they're going 100 miles an hour. And there's actually this vehicle chase later on. Like, just look at that. What a great action sequence. There is these, horizontal type of comics. Not crazy about that, but Paul Pope does a very good job at them. HR is supposed to marry this guy, but he kind of attacks her a little bit, and like I don't want to give too much away. I like being vague on purpose. If I have to tell you every plot beat to get you to buy the book, I think that's a mistake, or to look into it. These guys look so great, man. Oh, the designs are fantastic. As I was reading this, I wanted like to play a video game like this, or like watch a movie like this. It's like it reminds me a lot of like Love and Rockets, and you know how like Love and Rockets started off as this like great sci-fi sort of thing, and then the Hernandez brothers just kind of went in more of the love direction of the Love and Rockets. I wonder if Paul Pope does that with later volumes where instead of so much action and so much like sci-fi imagery, if we're going to get more of like a grounded emotional story, that would be very interesting. But if not, I could, if I get more sequences like this, I could care less. I'm like, look at this. The way that he draws like THB's movement is just so fun. And then, at a certain point, they HR is with her like her nanny robot, and she ejects the whole back end of the vehicle to kind of just go faster. And yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed this. I recommend it. It does set up for volume 2. Is this a satisfactory read? Absolutely. It works as a single volume, but obviously, if you pick this up, you might be inclined to get volume 2. Here is HR and THB, and I just love that kind of that duo kind of thing. I actually think 3A, Ashley Wood's old toy company, made a THB action figure, and I kind of remember that a little bit, seeing them two together. Here is a tease for volume 2 and 3. Those cannot come soon enough. I really love this. I think First, Second, and 23rd Street Books did an amazing job on this release. I'm very excited to get the other 2 volumes, like I've said multiple times. I really enjoyed this. Like I said, it was my first big exposure to THB and really to kind of Paul Pope's genius. And this was the first big title that really set him up to kind of be the professional he is today and the much celebrated cartoonist that he is. So yeah, this is THB Volume 1 by Paul Pope. I really enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. If you've read more THB, if you've read more Paul Pope comics that I'm not aware of, please comment down below. I would like to hunt those down and to devour them because this was just fantastic. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.